we're now streaming. I'm expecting someone to come in, so if you see me like look over there and start talking to someone, it's gonna be like my choir master's coming to look up my progress. But yeah, so hey guys, this is my new studio. It's a nice background of just white. I'm getting stuff done at my church right now. So
Hey,
all right,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, nerd. Sorry,
You
guy.
nerd.
So what do you want to talk about this week?
I had a question, like Christmas related question. I wanted to ask you, and I decided to save it for the stream.
Okay.
So you're from Nigeria,
That's
right?
you don't know that.
Oh, I think I do. So I guess I'm assuming you guys celebrate it in Nigeria, but what did that look like?
So I don't know. I don't know what the quintessential Nigerian Christmas would look like, or at least the
Hmm.
one that is shared by most people. But the one that I did, because we weren't that wealthy, so we didn't really
Hmm.
live it up. But we mostly just did stuff. So for me, Christmas was like get up in the morning.
Hmm.
I get up super early because it was the one day we actually got to wear our, when you say Sunday best, it's like our Christmas,
Hmm.
it's like our yearly Christmas best. Like literally, my uncle from the U.S. would send us clothes from like Walmart to Nigeria, and because it was scarce in Nigeria, you don't see Walmart clothes in Nigeria. It was like the best thing in the world. Obviously, as an
Huh.
economist, I'm here thinking like, oh, scarcity was why like I thought it was it's a Walmart clothes, but anyway,
Yeah.
so and so we get these clothes like in March, right? So for like from March till like December, we'll be praying. One, we don't grow too much, so we actually wear the clothes, and two, we pray that by the time by the time we get to Christmas, we actually have enough um like the clothes aren't we're just excited about the clothes basically, and so we get up super early because we almost always excited about the clothes. Where and then we'd go to our friend's place. We just start like literally going like almost like Halloweening it, go from door to door, eating people's foods. Like we say, hey guys, Merry Christmas, and we just walk in and we just eat their food, stay a bit, maybe play soccer or something like that, and then go to the next person's house. So we make the rounds. We actually do like the whole we start like super early. Start like almost like 9 a.m. Start something like that early, and then just go out and just literally play with our friends and just do door to door like almost eating of people's foods. And then yeah, I did liked Christmas a lot more in Nigeria because we actually did stuff. Um, Here like the only time I like Christmas here is when it falls on a Sunday, which it does this year. So because I'm actually doing stuff. Otherwise, I'm just
Hmm.
like, oh, my parents are at work because it's time and a half or whatever. But yeah, that's my experience with Christmas in Nigeria. So it's not really like a Nigerian Christmas. But I guess if I'm to answer the question about Nigerian Christmas, sorry for like hogging the mic here.
It's all good.
Um,
That's quite.
Lots of spicy food. I guess that's in every, well, that's in every Nigerian like in every Nigerian anything like a Nigerian.
It's a Nigerian anything.
Right, it's like Nigerian birthday
Not suitable
spicy
for us
food.
white boys, man.
Bro, I remember like it was the day you pleaded with me. You're like, "Oh my god, you made my stomach is killing me," because we lived together in
Yeah,
college.
I'm like, put your food. So the thing with your food, cover your ears for this, by the way.
Mhm.
Your food tastes great. It's just I can't eat it
Thanks.
because I'll take a bite and I'll be like, this is good. I'm literally dying. My stomach is liquefying right now. It's melting.
Yeah, I can
It's
imagine
scene
like
from The Dark Knight where the mayor drinks accidentally drinks acid because someone had stuck acid in his vodka bottle, and he dies from that. That's like me eating your food.
okay, dude, that's a bit
Only I
much.
have a smile on my face as I'm going down.
That's a bit much. Oh, well, I don't know how to take that. Thank you. I do think that. Well, that was some food. So like my the other stuff I made, I just didn't put as much spice in. So like the fried rice, the
Yeah,
chili, I didn't put much. But whenever I made like fully made Nigerian food, you just couldn't handle it. It was just too much.
yeah, yeah. Didn't you say even your parents can't handle it?
Oh yeah, like
Handle your spice?
I am different. I'm made different. Are you drinking eggnog?
Yeah.
Nice. Is there booze in it?
No, my mom made it homemade.
I wish I was there, dude.
Yeah,
I guess
should drive up.
I wanna, but it's just like when am I gonna have time? Literally. But anyway,
Uh,
so how about, I guess, let me throw this back to you. Like, you like Christmas? Okay, well, two things. One, answer the question of like, what do your family do for Christmas? And then two, give me your, because I think you have the most not contrarian, but just interesting take on Christmas music and your preference for it. Like the ones you like, and spoilers, hymns. But I guess tell me why you like hymns as opposed to other like other songs. But yeah,
okay.
So first of all, what do you guys do for Christmas?
Okay, so I guess for the latter question, I want you to answer the same thing. But going to the former question, we don't, unfortunately, we can't do it so much now. But before, when we lived around, so once upon a time, I was born and raised most of my life in Colorado. And so we had a bunch of family very near us. So
Is that both sides?
yeah. So my mom and dad went to the same elementary school, middle school, and high school.
In Colorado?
And daycare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Colorado. So they grew up together, and so all our families were native to the area.
Okay.
My mom's dad is from North Dakota. That's where he farms and ranches. Yep. So, but when we lived in Colorado, what we would do is sometimes we would go to my dad's parents' place, my grandparents, and we would stay the night. And then that way in the morning, we would get up and have like a big breakfast and a brunch with them. But then we would leave and go to my great-grandparents' place. And they lived about, about an hour away. And they're farmers as well. And so we would just have this big potluck where all my aunts and my uncles and all my great-grandparents' brothers and sisters would be there sometimes. And so there'd be like 20, 30 people crammed into a small farmhouse. And we'd just be eating nothing but pie and watching football, and it was awesome.
Love pie, dude. Like, I'm a sucker for pie.
Yeah, it was a fight. It was always begging the parents for one more piece, please. And you'd just be laying on the ground because you couldn't freaking eat anything else.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, that's another thing I like about, like, you have, like, holidays kind of, I guess, get a bad rap in a few ways where, like, Christmas is all materialistic. I'm like, well, I guess, fair enough, but it's like...
Yeah, first off, shut up. But two...
Right.
Another thing that's connected to it is it's like, you gotta go hang out with a family you hate type of thing. And I'm like, hopefully I don't hate my family, though.
Right, yeah, exactly. Hopefully not. I hope you don't hate them. But just like...
Yeah, I love my family. Well, it's like what Michael Malice said, you got that girlfriend you kind of hate. I'm like, that sounds miserable.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather just not have a girlfriend than have one that I kind of hate. Right?
Yeah.
I would rather not be around my family if I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like no obligation at all would make me go and sit for hours in a room of people I just despise. Right.
Like, even... So, the reason I brought that up was because I was trying to get at the fact that there's a day where you can just, like, go door to door and eat food and be comatose.
Yeah.
Like, it's highly underrated. Like, yeah, I know we can do that more and more in our society these days, but it's like hardly ever. So, for example, you know this because I literally was panic texting you this. This week, I spent like a crap ton of money getting stuff for my desk, right? And I was like, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm gonna lose my back. What the heck? I was being unnecessarily cheap, all that stuff. And literally, like, I bought the stuff I bought, and I have zero remorse about it. Like, I don't feel, because normally, for me, as you know, buying stuff for myself, even getting a haircut is like, I guess removing my nail or something like that.
I'm not gonna knock you on that one. I still go to my mom's house to give me a little trim because she
Don't
can
you
do
like,
her
you live, like, you constantly live in your house, by the way, that's like, and it's 55 degrees constantly.
Yeah.
Like, you refuse to turn your heater on.
This week's been so cold, though, that I finally boosted up a couple of degrees because I'm like, I am literally shivering as I'm just walking around my house.
Because, well, I'm just like, I'm mind blown. Well, then again, my apartment has, like, lots of glass, so if I do not turn my heater on, things are gonna freeze in my apartment. But it's like, but the thing is, as you know, as we both share this, like I feel bad about myself. But I bought that. I'm like, oh no, like I don't feel bad about it at all because I feel like, oh, well, after the freaking panic I had there, like I feel good about investing here. But also, it's like, rarely ever do you get to do things like that for yourself and not feel bad. Like, I don't like shopping, but whenever I shop, I feel like remorse about it. But Christmas is like that. It's like it's a day where you just get to like, oh, I'm not gonna work today. I'm just gonna go spend time with my family and just like, be unproductively productive, or I guess productively unproductive. Spending time, eating food, just eating pie because it's like, oh, don't eat sugar or whatever. But it's like it's Christmas.
Well, I mean, I went with my dad to a big town near us, and I went and did all my Christmas shopping in one afternoon. I spent probably like $250. Didn't even bat an eye.
Yeah. Well, okay, then again, I know you. You have no qualms buying stuff for. Well, again, we're similar in this. You have You have no qualms buying stuff for other people.
Yeah, it's just like that's for a worthy cause in my opinion, right? But for me, I'm like, I know my limits. I can last, or at least I think I can. Right?
So did I, bro. I'm just sleeping on the ground.
I'm the moron who doesn't go to the chiropractor when I throw out my neck or something like that, because I'm like, I'll walk it off. Just give me a day or two, I'll be fine.
Rub some dirt on it.
Tucking it up and just going and getting my body fixed.
Right.
I'll wait, and Aristotle put it in his was it Nicomean
Ethics? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he was like, look, virtue lies in the mean, and I'm like, he's right.
Like,
right? It's like, it's not healthy. So it's helpful sometimes what we do, right? Because we're like, yeah, I'll live in a old house because.
Yeah, I'll sleep on the ground because I don't want to spend money on a couch or something or a bed.
Yeah, but then when it gets bad, where I'm like, oh, I wonder if I look good in the long hair because I don't want to go and get a freaking haircut, or it's just. Where you just don't enjoy life.
Yeah, like literally, dude. I was my desk setup, right? And look, okay, not to like harp on this again. I was using my computer, my laptop I got from work to work, and my boss was like, "Oh, hey man, what's your setup at home?" Like I'm like my laptop. He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I use my laptop." He's like, "That's not productive."
That's not productive
Either
at all.
that, or you just come to the office. I'm like, I'll buy it. So literally, I went home. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I have to buy something. I went to buy an ultra monitor. I bought like the dirt cheapest, right? And I bought a mouse, and I bought a $10 like mouse and keyboard combo. I was proud of that purchase, by the way. And then my brother was like, and my birthday came. My brother got me like a really nice mouse, really really fancy mouse, really, and that surprisingly made me very made me.
Does it actually fit your hand?
It does fit my hand. I was like, it's way more productive. Like literally, like I can't describe it, but it's a productivity mouse. So I'm actually way more productive for work, way more productive for like my own stuff and I'm working on. And anyway, so I put that on my island, my kitchen island, bro. And I went to Target and I bought like a $50 like $20, I got two of them for $50, $25, like a stool, right? I just plop it from my desk, and bro, for 10 hours a day, I'll be like this, just working, and.
Yeah, people would be like, "Do you really make that much money doing this? Because you look like a Chinese wage slave right now." I do ads for you, like, don't make money for this wage slave in Nigeria. He's like, "But I live in America." Shut up.
For 5 cents a day, you can save a life, and just see me just
higher in the manual.
But the thing is, like, I would sit there for like 10 plus hours, maybe even 11 hours a day, just working, and not just on weekends as well. Even when I eat on that desk, because I have nothing else. Yeah. And like, because last week I was like, I'm 23. Dude, I cannot describe it, because I'm flexible, as you know. So I would. And I know exactly how. Okay, like people know about me.
So let me guess, because I've had this before. You got up and you're like, I can't bend down.
It's actually
that moment of, are you kidding me?
Right. Like so.
Because you hurt so much, but you're like but then you try to do things and you're like, I I can't even
I'm
tie my own
stuck.
shoe. What the frick?
Yeah, so as you know, I'm flexible and I know. Well, this is my hidden talent. I can
Mm,
connect to every joint in my body except my cranium, right?
mm.
So every
You've been trying to. I see.
I
Yeah.
have, yeah. Oh, for sure. Like every spine or most of the spines, like I know how to twist enough to get them, right? And so I twisted enough to get that one, and I felt the pop, and it was satisfying pop. So I woke up in the morning. I was like, having my quiet time. I was just leaning on the wall, and then I was like, that hurts. I mean, if we could stretch this out, and dude, like the pop I heard was wild to me, and bro, my back, like, I was like, oh frick, I'm gonna go order, like I gotta order a chair right away. Like this has to come like right now. I don't care about the saving money. Like I let everything come like right away because I was thinking like, why my back be hurting? Like I work out, I do deadlifts, I do, but
Hmm.
no, it's like literally when you're bent like this
Yeah. Yeah. Just.
for 10 plus hours a day,
Yeah.
for a good 5 months, right?
Mhm.
Like the only time I get to work in comfort is when I go to the office. Think of, like, for God's sake. Anyway, so
And
my
you hate going to the office because
I,
that means you have to drive.
exactly, and spend money on gas, which is just, but it's like, and then now my whole thing is I have was set up at where I was set up at my usually my chair. That's all I came. My chair, because my signing desk is taking way longer than for delays of shipping because Christmas season, obviously. But
Yep.
like literally only my chair, dude, my life has changed. I'm like, I'm sitting there for way long. I'm like, money is good. Like, if I don't spend money on literally my comfort, for
Hmm.
it's almost like an investment because I'm working on it. I'm using it to work for stuff, but also like even if it's not an investment, like it's my comfort. Anyway, so yesterday, long story short, went to IKEA, bought a dresser, and I bought a lamp. Because I want to turn.
Wow.
I
You
know.
still don't have a bed, do you?
I don't have a bed. No, I'll buy that later. Okay, maybe next year. Um, but I want to turn my closet into an office because I don't have that many
Mm.
clothes, so I'm gonna put all my
Yeah,
clothes.
yeah, you could put that desk like right in front of that window too.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
and it's perfect size for that because it's like 51 inches, desk, and it's like 55. Anyway, and then I have so I'm gonna try to turn to, okay, I don't have that many clothes, as you know, like I literally have
Hmm.
like just anyway, and so I'm gonna like put them
I
in
think
the,
I've seen you wear that shirt since freshman year of college.
dude, you have to call me out like that. Good lord. Like,
And I've known you for nearly half a decade.
when you put it like that, I sound old. If you see like literally my siblings would like they mock me for my slides. You see my slides, right? My Adidas
Yeah,
slides. Like they're
yeah,
like,
like almost. They're not even slides anymore. Your feet still touch the ground. It's just like encasing.
yeah, I mean, but
You
anyway,
might as well be barefoot, you psycho.
like, look. Okay, they, I've had them since I was a a junior or a sophomore in high school. One or the other.
And let me guess, they weren't new even then.
My dad gave them to me. Yeah, he gifted to me. Well, I stole them, technically speaking. Point is, I'm turning my closet into an office now, and I'm actually gonna try to make that place like actually comfortable. So I ordered my standing desk, I ordered my chair, and I bought a dresser. I'm gonna try to put like light in there. It has no plug anyway,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So I guess that was a huge tangent.
Okay, I got
Second
a
question.
Okay, I guess to help you feel better about yourself on your cheapness.
Yeah.
So I worked property maintenance, lawn care for the past 6 months, right?
Yep.
So the shoes I was using for them are hiking shoes, right? I don't really like boots all that much because it makes my ankles hot and all that stuff. But the hiking shoes have enough support that it doesn't hurt my ankles either. So awesome, right?
Mm.
I've had those for 3 or 4 years and used them for work. And so they're literally falling apart on me, right? And so for the whole time, I'm using these suckers and they're just falling apart on me.
Oh my God. So,
I'm
and it's
still refusing to get new ones. Until finally, in November, my boss was like, yeah, one of my clients' brothers died. And he had all these boots. Do you want them? I'm like, what size? And he's like, 11s. I'm like, I can cram my foot into an 11. And so I'm wearing Dead Man's shoes right now.
That okay. That tops it. Like, look, I know we're gonna talk about this next week, but like you are like Ebenezer Scrooge, except not because you actually like Christmas, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you're like you rival me in cheapness, dude. Like okay, well then I can't knock you. Like you saw my like I was literally crying. You saw my boots, right? Like, I show my boots.
Yeah.
I also learned, by the way, I can extend the life of them. I'm gonna try to do that, but it's like I'm so like, but the thing, the glorious thing about this is, I have no problems spending money for other people.
No.
Like zero issues. Like
Donate money. I don't give a crap. If you need money, whatever.
but when it comes to me,
But if you're like, hey, yeah, oh yeah, you should get that. It'll cost you $50. There are some things where I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Now, every once in a blue moon, like last nice thing I got myself was I got one of those little JBL speakers.
nice.
It's literally like this big. It's a little portable speaker, and I got it for $25 on Black Friday.
Nice.
And yeah,
on my end, last thing I bought for myself, well, obviously my desk setup, but that doesn't count. I don't think, because I was forced. I forced my hand basically. My back forced my
yeah,
hand.
it's work expense too.
Right. Was my candle on my birthday.
Mhm.
That was it. I was like, I'm actually gonna. And
Yeah, I was standing right next to you then. That was kind of awkward for everyone.
yeah, it
It
was.
was like I seen you like sniff deeply at every
Wasn't a
single
good candle,
candle in
man.
the store, and I'm just kind of sitting there going,
Is it a can? Like as you know, like smells for me are like I
yeah,
love
yeah, I'm there. Texture for me, but you know,
texture. Yeah. Also like
you
yeah.
know it too. I have. This is gonna sound awful, but so one day I was sitting there reading or something like that in the chair. And my brother walks up, and my littlest brother. He's like 8 still, right? And so he's like chewing something. And he comes over to be nosy or whatever and looks over my shoulder. And so he starts chewing right in my ear. And the moment he starts doing that, instinctually, my hand goes up and I just about whack him in the face. Because just the moment of in the ear, I'm just like,
But the thing is, but so okay, but you feed your dog. Like you feed your dog. So to me, it's like okay, dogs are like they do that like they're dogs. So like the way they eat is loud, but it's weird when it's humans for you. That's so weird.
yeah, it's like I can't stand ASMR either. I hate it. I'm like, it
I don't
bugs
get
me.
so I don't get it. I feel the sensation that they try to get at, but I just cannot in my mind look up.
I definitely feel a sensation, and it's like pure uncomfortableness and discomfort. Uncomfortable.
Hey,
I
look,
graduated barely. It's discomfort and
are you creeped out or you're
yeah, I'm creeped out. I'm like, this is not
so
not okay. It's
for me?
weird.
Like I feel what they like the sensation of I feel it,
Yeah.
but it's an intellectual thing for me. I'm like, why does this exist? Like, what is this supposed to serve?
No,
I can't tell if
like,
it's supposed to be sexual or not. It's kind of a. I'm like, what?
yeah, it's weird. I'm like, I can't stand that stuff in my ear at all. Well,
fine.
how even with like, so for example, my dog, she's been struggling with like fleas and stuff like that. Minnesota has super fleas, by the way. I don't know what the frick's up with these fleas. They won't die. But
Even when you-
so she's been struggling. What?
Because I know she's taking pills for stuff like that, right? Is that the same thing or different?
Same thing. All that stuff doesn't work. I don't know. They just won't go the frick away. We've been struggling with it for like 6 months now. So she'll just sit there next to me or whatever, and she'll be like gnawing on herself.
Oh yeah, that bothered you. Yeah.
And I'm like, can you stop? Can you go anywhere else except for right in the ear?
Yeah.
And then the cats also struggle with it, not as bad, but they'll like suck their hair off to get at them, and so it's just
That's great.
all day, and I'm just sitting here going, losing my crap over it.
I can imagine. Like, I also like you also okay. I guess not to go too far. So the question I asked you earlier, because it's almost like 30 minutes already. It's 24 minutes.
Yeah, hymnals.
Yeah, I guess
Okay, so yeah,
I
my
guess give me
okay,
your broader philosophy on Christmas music.
okay. I pretty much despise modern Christmas music. It's my least favorite song that comes on Christmas is you know that song Santa Baby?
Santa baby, da da
Yeah,
da 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 da. Okay,
yeah.
it's
So
a nice
I just
waltz.
it's all so vapid and materialistic. It's everything people complain about Christmas and stuff like that. I hate it.
Question, question.
Cool.
Before you, okay, so how do you appreciate? Uh, can you appreciate how to ask the question? Um, I know how you view stuff intellectually, right?
Hmm.
But I don't think I don't think I know exactly how you appreciate music per se, because you it almost, I guess we can I can see eye to eye with you when it comes to intellectual stuff, right? But
Hmm.
the place where we disagree, or I guess we have just vastly different tastes, is music. So I'm trying to understand, like, would you ever look at the music without the lyrics and just say, oh yeah, the music sounds good, or it makes if I guess it feels good, or would you, like, you must take the take it holistically, so to speak?
So so first off, I guess so the viewers know, I'm a metalhead. I love metal. I like hard rock. Um, I like, oddly enough, also I have weird tastes though. So like metal, I think my favorite's probably power metal right now, but you know, whatever, basically. Um, but I really, really enjoy folk music
That
as
is
well as a cappella and Johnny Cash and some of that stuff there. So it's not just metal, right? Um, and the one thing I think I enjoy the most about all music is the vocals.
okay.
So I also like instrumental music, but like not nearly as much as like a good, like even a good a cappella thing. So that's why I like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. They just have such amazing voices.
Yeah.
And so like, so for my favorite metal bands are like Disturbed with David Draymond. His voice is amazing. M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. His voice is amazing. Even the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch. What is his name? Can't remember his name. But
The
they
lead
all have
singer
like
of
a unique
Finger
vocal
Death
style that I
Punch.
love. Right. And I think the reason why I like the old hymns for Christmas is that it lends itself to so many different interpretations. So, for example, one I've been Christmas album I've been very fond of is Third Day's rendition of a lot of Christmas songs.
Okay.
Now, Third Day is a Christian, kind of a southern rock band, and they have like kind of that country style blended with southern rock, and it sounds amazing, right? And it's not like the songs are, they don't really have any bite to them. They're not like, there's not like a ton of riffs or a ton of backbeat from the drums or anything like that. But it's very powerful. And I think the reason why the hymns last so long is because they're so simple that we all know them. We all can glean onto them, I think. And it's like the modern music is so vapid and fleeting in a sense, I think that's why I like them. And I think the hymns speak to something more transcendental. And I don't care who you are, right? They speak to something greater than yourself in a sense.
Okay. Interesting. So I don't think we disagree. Oh, obviously we don't disagree on this, because I see eye to eye with you on that. My reason for, well, the thing I've just come to, I guess, appreciate more. So, okay, a couple of things. One, to go to Bible real quick. Paul and Silas, the story of, they prayed, they sang, and like there was an earthquake. I was reading that again, and it said they sang hymns, and the earth quaked. Obviously, they prayed as well, and obviously those God stuff, God was involved in that. But it's like, if not to take God out of it, but it's like the fact that two people, after they just got beaten up, tossed in jail, were singing and praying to the point that the earth quaked. And the other thing, you're singing hymns. It's almost like it points to the fact of like there is something about singing more broadly that takes you out of yourself. But I think nothing does that more than hymns. And I guess nothing does that as much as well.
Rhythm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was finishing. Nothing does that as well as hymns.
Yeah. So I think the reason why hymns and folk music hold on for so long is they're so simple.
Yes.
Right. And you're not wrong that music and all that stuff is very powerful. In ancient Greece, the Athenians didn't really train for war. They had their men dance together. And that way they could get in step with each other, because the Greeks relied on their form of combat was the phalanx. So basically shield to shield, spear, and all that stuff. It requires an extreme amount of unity. And they found that but any moron can, poke a spear, right? You don't need to be insane with the spear.
Yeah.
So, but they needed to have people to be disciplined and be able to work together. And so that was one way to do it.
Yeah.
But music just does something to humans.
Yeah, like even I guess to I'm not surprised that, because again, there are hymns and then there are Christmas hymns, right? I don't know, maybe Easter has some hymns, but no other season has like hymns that are as popular as Christmas hymns, right? And this is why, I guess, going back to the fact that people say, oh yeah, Christmas is overrated now, whatever. I'm like, dude, like the fact of those songs, even though when you just hear like say, I guess, if
Silent Night,
First Noel, Silent Night,
so there was an incident in 1914 during this First World War where both the English side and the German side stopped shooting at each other for one evening, and they all sang hymns together in the trenches.
I rest my case, because literally, like this, hymns, I guess, have a special way or a special thing to them that I just get. Almost gets at the human soul, because you don't need maybe you don't need a fancy drum set or drum kits. You don't need like all the things.
No. So it's like, so a controversial opinion here coming from a metalhead is, if a metal song can't be played on acoustic, it's not a good song.
Interesting.
So I think I showed you a song from Avenged Sevenfold called "Hail to the King."
Yes.
I showed you both the metal version and the acoustic version. I think it sounds great in both. But there are plenty of songs I'm like, without the distortion and the heavy backbeats, it wouldn't sound very good. And so that's how you know it's not that good of a song. Yeah, I think.
I agree with that. It's I don't know, like hymns. Maybe it's hard to put. I guess the fact it's hard to put to words makes. It gets at the idea of it, but just for me, broadly speaking, I do. So this week, in preparation for Christmas, well, for other reasons, I've been fasting and praying and all that stuff. But like, I've made a point to like sing hymns every day until Christmas, and dude, it's such a good exercise, because like I'm just joyous just singing joy to the like in my apartment, like I'm just like I could just walking around singing joyous Christmas songs. I'm like, this like nothing ties me more to the past, the present, to people around the world than literally singing Christmas hymns right now. Like the season calls for it. I love it. I look out my window, I see like all these houses like so gorgeously decorated. Someone else put in the stress to make their houses like put lights up, and like I'm just sitting in my apartment, like just standing out there singing, just looking at the snow, and it's so like you said, literally it's transcendence. It's like it's sublime.
Yeah,
Like I can't describe the. And then it comes back to technical stuff like the way I guess the way the notes are, I guess the way the chords are put together. Like then you can, oh yeah, it's actually quite good. Even I don't know if so. Recommendation for the audience here: go to hymnary.org and just like pick a hymn, and you see like at the bottom they usually give like a brief history of the hymns. You'll be surprised to know who wrote these hymns. Like it's actually quite like they're actually popular people. Even I think Newton wrote one hymn. It's a very popular hymn. I forgot what it is, but it's like you have.
yeah.
So recommendation, just check it out. It's pretty fun if you want to like get the history of these hymns. Yeah, do you have any last words to say or stuff to add to this?
I guess one last point, I'll try to be brief, is that words have that power as well, right? So, because I can imagine someone singing "Joys of the World" or "Silent Night" or whatever 200 years ago and having the same effect, right? And I think poetry does the same thing. So, for example, if you read like "Charge of the Light Brigade," like I get goosebumps when I read that one. And one of my favorite songs, period, is a song called "The Wayfaring Stranger." And it's an old folk song, and it's, I guess the only way to put it is haunting. A guy by the name of Cole McGuinness does a really, really good rendition of it. It's simple, but it's powerful as well. And so, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that one, but hey.
Yeah, like it's almost like it's enduring because of how easy it is to learn. I'm saying enduring also as well because the message, the content of the song, almost like carries it through time. It's kind of like a multiplicative effect there. And that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah, and maybe I'm very, very cynical, and you can only really tell these things in hindsight. But I don't really know much music today that's gonna carry on much further than today. Or even books. Like I
Okay, this one I agree with you. I agree with you on. So as you know, like after my slaving away at my desk like that, I usually I like to read Sherlock Holmes. Like I have both volumes. Screw it. I have all the compilation. I've booked 2 books and like it's so fun to read. Like I'm just like I bet you and I could probably pull out something philosophical, deep about Sherlock Holmes. But
I do that all day.
yeah, say that's what it's on. You unnecessarily philosophize. Like I was literally telling you, oh, hey, here's a perspective on Overlord. Check out the meaning of albedo or whatever. Anyway, but I read books. I'm like, oh, this book is enduring. Obviously, it has like good morals and stuff like that to it. But it's enduring in itself because it's just a fun stuff. It's just fun to read. It's engaging. Well written, yes. It's engaging. The characters are likable. I guess relatable. And I think if we don't have any books these days that deal with like deep topics, I think the ones that will survive. My prediction would be like they'll be like almost Sherlock Holmes in that sense, where it's like it's obviously a good book, but
I just don't know which ones will do it because it's like I keep going back to the thing that G.K. Chesterton wrote in what is it? I think it's Heretics or Orthodox. I can't remember which book it was. Highly recommend both of those. But he was writing, the difference between the modern psychological novel and the old fairy tales is that, and the reason why the latter will endure more than the former is that these older fairy tales deal with an ordinary person dealing with an extraordinary situation. And I'm like, I think the appeal of Sherlock Holmes is this obviously intelligent person who's a whack job, by the way.
Yeah, cocaine
right?
like every week. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. But he's also having to piece together extraordinary events that no one else can solve and make it completely ordinary, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's also something like larger than life about those characters in a sense. I think a flaw that a lot of modern authors try to do. Granted, I don't read really any modern fiction.
Me neither.
is that they try to make their hero the everyman. And I'm like, I don't know. There's something to be said about larger than life people. But that's my love for Pulp Fiction and stuff like that.
And also your digression into unnecessary philosophizing. All right, I hate to cut it short because it's always fun to talk to you, but we've gone way past the time. I wish you Merry Christmas to you
Merry
and
Christmas.
to the viewers.
Yep.
I hope you enjoy. Literally, listen to some hymns, sing some hymns, spend time eating pie, get stuffed, and do all you want to do.
Gluttony.
Or I'm not condoning gluttony, but like
Gluttony.
you know, be unproductively productive or productively unproductive, whatever you want to look at it. So,
Amen.
yeah. And that's end of the stream.